All right, Mac, we're going to work on grip. We're going to complete the whole entire picture of this whole shooting platform, right? So I want you to pull out your gun, right? With your strong hand. I want you to push your hand as high as you possibly can onto that gun, right? That's going to allow for this, and your finger's going to index off of that frame, right? And I want you to create that, where get your hand in a specific position where you feel like you can control it a little bit. Does that feel natural to you, right? And that's really good, because right now what I'm looking for is how this gun is aligned with your, how it's in the webbing of your hand right here. It's center, all right? And then it's lined up to your structure. This is basically your structure. So if you had to shoot one hand, I want that to be lined up to that bone, because that's the only thing that's going to be receiving. If it's a little bit cocked like this, now let me rotate the gun on your hand. It's a little bit cocked like that. Now you have to shoot it like this. It's going to wobble all over the place, right? So again, I want you to fix it in regards to how it would feel like. It's centered in the webbing in your hand. It's as high as it possibly can, where your middle finger is almost rubbing underneath the trigger guard. Yes? Good. All right. So now the other piece of that puzzle now is I want you to turn that gun, face it towards you like this, in a 45-degree angle right there. That's essentially your reload. I don't want you to break your wrist, right? Whenever we move, we go from here to here. The wrist never gets broken. It's just consistent movement right here, right? That's basically your reloading position. We'll talk about that later. So now I want you to fill, this is a 1911, so we're going to keep that thumb out. I want you to fill in this missing piece right here, right? This is going to be your missing piece. This whole entire piece is going to fill in that gap right there. Go as high as you can as well with that support hand. There we go. And see how you plastered it right there to position it in such a way where you're like, this feels good. Whatever feels good for you, where you can squeeze it, where you can feel like you have control on the gun. The biggest thing is, once you feel confident with your grip and you feel like you can control it, that recoil is not going to bother you as much as it would if you didn't have a solid grip. If you didn't have a solid grip and that gun starts jumping around, you're going to anticipate more, and you're going to have this negative impact and experience behind the gun. So, does that feel good for you?
Yep.
Yes. The only adjustment that I would have is I would want this thumb to be a little bit lower, so we're not impeding any movement with this slide. Some guns are very sensitive in such a matter where you put some sort of pressure on the slide, it creates malfunction. So that's a pretty good solid grip. I like the two thumbs forward technique as well, because I use my left hand thumb in order for me to gain the next advantage of being able to point towards targets before I even use my sights, right? So I want you to point at the camera then with that gun. There it is. That's a pretty solid stance. Good positioning. You got your weight forward already. I can see your nose over the toes, and I can feel like your weight's already somewhat forward. This is a solid grip. You like to lock your elbows all the way in, and that's not a bad thing at all. It's all technique, right? I like to have a bent elbow position. You don't have to change that right now. We'll figure it out later as we shoot live fire. This is a solid grip. Every single time you point the gun, I want you to come back to that. So the first thing I want you to do is to come back here and kind of relax a little bit, right? Loosen up the grip, right? This is where you're comfortable right now. This is called the high compress ready. So I want you to learn that. From here, I want you to punch out and point again. There it is. I want you to try to look through the rear sight and line up that sight.
Got it.
Right? Good. Come back to the compress ready, where your elbows are in, but the gun is up. The gun is up. So the gun is up, not like that, but the gun is up here.
Got it.
Makes sense? You're relaxed, not necessarily tense, but you can see, even if you're looking at target, you can see and index your gun somewhat, right? So if you have to tank turret to the refrigerator over there, right? Tank turret, I want you to turn. You can pretty much essentially point the gun as well, right? Right? Without even pointing full extension, right? Come back to the compress ready again. Back to the middle. You have an idea of where the gun is, even if you're looking at the camera, yes? All right. Punch out again.
Forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's full extension. When I say punch out to full extension, I want you to create that grip. Solidify the strength on that grip, right? Punch out to full extensions. Squeezing on it. All right. Not bad. I want to check it. That's a really good solid grip. That's a really good solid grip. So that's it. And that's essentially about as much strength as you want to put in for now. Later on, we'll talk about maybe manipulating the gun more, driving the gun forward. But for now, it's shooting one round at a time, accuracy stuff. That's going to be plenty good. All right. So
got it.
With that said, now that you have that developed, I want you to return that gun back to the holster. So now that we're back in the holster, I want you to, again, establish that grip from the holster. I want you to grab it. Again, the biggest thing is before you even take it out, get as high as you can. Set it in the holster already, right? Pull it out, meet and greet, and establish your grip. Imagine that. Remember that thumbs forward grip. That thumbs forward grip is going to be very important to memorize and how to index that. So every time it comes together, I want you to think about punching the bottom of your hand there, and then formulating that grip from the front to the back. A lot of people want to try to work from the back front, and that's why a lot of people wrap around and end up doing a cross thumb. I want you to go from the front and then go rotate the gun forward, right? So that trigger guard is going to land right here. So I want you to feel like that's the stimulus we're looking for. So go ahead. Again, just kind of hit that. See, I just did. It's all good. Pull it out. Pull it out slow. You had to go back to the compress ready. Hit it from there. From there, move forward. That's how you do it. The left hand is essentially going to be the stimulus that's going to push the gun up. Hit it with this. The first thing that needs to hit the gun is that. There. Perfect. Do it again. Do it slower. Nope. You didn't hit it. We're trying to hit it now. Hit it first. Yep. Hit it first. There you go. Hold on. Hit it with this. This part right here. Specifically this into that. Good. And that will allow you for you to set it. Like even if you go a little bit deeper into the grip, meaning you go, this is a trick, right? Once we start getting into the draw later, even if you go a little deeper when you kind of come back to the compress ready, right there. And once you go there, as you fully extend out, it'll rotate out to where you need it to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's why I have a little callus there, because it's just constant skin fold of me bringing it back.
Got it.
It'll create that torque that you need on that gun. So go ahead. Again, I want you to create an overcommit that left hand. Right? It's the front. It's all that matters. Don't even try to grip it. Just go like this. Like you're trying to form a T. Look how flat my hand is. Not like this. Literally like that. Yep.
This way.
And then as I push out, that's when I collapse my grip around the gun. Exactly. Do it again. Perfect. Good. Work from the front to the back. The support hand needs to work from the front to the back. A lot of people will try to meet and they end up shorting it. That's it. And you do that a couple times, you will essentially establish the grip that we're looking for. Go ahead. One more time. Perfect. Next, I like that grip. This thumb now is getting a little too low. Again, move this hand as high as you possibly can. All right. So good. Aiming on target. Fully grip. Move it as high as you can. Just remember, as high as you can on the gun. There it is, without impeding any actions on the gun. That's basically your grip right there. I'm going to feel it. That's a solid looking grip. I can move it left to right. There's not much wobble, not much going up and down. Right? That's good. So that's the grip. That's the final position of the grip. Your shoulders are locked in. Your hips are square to the target. Lean forward a little bit and bend your legs a little bit. Bend your knees. There it is. Good. Perfect. That's a complete structure right there. And that's what the final goal looks like, from the bottom to the top. Now we're going to work the middle with your draw. All right. You have any questions on the grip? Right. The grip, the two principles, we're working off the grip, just like the stance, where stance was mobility and stability. The grip's going to be all about pressure, which sometimes is replaced with friction, and leverage. So we want to get as high as we can, as much part of our hands to be in contact with the gun. That's how we're going to create that friction. All right.
Got it.
Good. And come back to the holster, and we'll move on to the draw.